Good evening, Sky Divas. How's everyone doing? Oh, I look rough. Um, I am doing a video. Some of it's gonna touch a lot on what we've already discussed, what I've already talked about in previous videos. But for those who wasn't able, I have not been able to go back through all those videos and watch them because I know some of them are really long-winded. But for the last couple days, I guess, I've been getting a slew of messages on my Instagram from people who've obviously watched the videos who have recently gotten CJOs. As you know, that they're hiring right now, and so almost every week there's a hiring session somewhere, and they're filling up these classes. If I'm not mistaken, there could be some classes, they might be on even class 11 or 12, because a friend of the family, I think she told me she was in class 10, which is in April, like the third week of April, because I told her I was class 11 last year and started a week later. So they're filling up really fast, and we had a memo that came out, and I believe they're going to be doing hiring up until, or filling up classes all the way to, if I'm not mistaken, I think it's at October or September. Now, this past year, 2018, they had classes going all the way up to December. But I want to say they were going to be hiring, I think the memo said between 400 and 600 flight attendants this year. So these classes are filling up rather fast. So congratulations again. And since these classes are filling up, I'm going to touch base on a couple of things. And I have a question, because someone posted this on social media, and they accepted a CJO from an airline. I don't know which one. And then after they accepted the CJO, they got on social media and complained and said something like, "Oh my God, how can y'all live off of this salary? This is not enough for me to pay my bills. I won't be able to, how do you deal with having to relocate and move because I have a dog and all this other stuff, and I can't be gone too long and then not being able to come home, and how likely is it for me to get my domicile, get home near my domicile, and how long will I be on reserve?" I didn't even respond, because if this was your dream job, you didn't know all this stuff prior to. I mean, what happens? I mean, do you just say, "I think I'm going to be a flight attendant," and then go onto the internet and pull up airlines and just apply for whatever job as a flight attendant, and then don't do any research, and then go to the interview and get the job, and then come home and say, "Oh, what, y'all only paying me that much? Oh, I can't pay my bills with that"? How do you get to that point? It's not like you're applying for a job, say a local job in your subdivision somewhere at the store or the Walmart or the hospital or something like that, and you know what you're going to be doing, and you're working 9 to 5, and you're coming home every day. And then when you get to the job interview, they tell you, "Okay, these are the hours. This is the dress code. This is the salary," or whatever. Some things are discussed at the interview, right? Well, I'm going to need y'all to do some research before you even apply, okay? Because this is not just a job. It is a lifestyle. And it's going to change drastically, from your salary to you being gone away from home from your loved ones, for you possibly having to relocate. Now, for you young, millenniums that don't have any kids and stuff like that, and you trying to get out your parents' house it could be a good thing, Hey, I never lived in New York. Me and my flight attendant classmates, we're going to get together and get our own little apartment in New York, and y'all be sex in the city. But if you, a woman of a particular age like myself, with kids and family and friends or what have you, that could be a drastic change. If you have a lot of bills, if you got student loans, if you got car note, if you have insurance, if you have rent, if you have storage, whatever it is that, speaking of storage, what's today? Anyway, you got to pay my storage bill. If you have all those things, you need to take in consideration what kind of money you're going to be bringing. I had to downgrade my cell phone plan. What else? I have a storage unit that I have to pay on because I moved in with my mom. I have to pay my mom to live there, so I don't have a crash pad in Dallas anymore because I wouldn't be able to pay my mom and pay for a crash pad off of my salary. So I don't have a crash pad, so I commute in. I pay my mom. I have to give her money. My daughter's living there. You know what I'm saying? I don't have a car note, and I need a new car, but I can't drive to Dallas because my car ain't gonna make it to Dallas. So I can't afford a car note right now. So those are some of the things you have to consider. I knew when I got this job, I knew when I applied for this job what the salary was. I took out pen and paper. I wrote down, my bills that had to be paid, bills that I could get rid of, how much my money I was going to be making, less than $20,000 a year. Do you know when the last time I made $20,000 a year? I'm 40. Am I 47 or 48? I'm 48. $20,000? Seriously? I think my son makes more than that, So I knew all this going into the interview process, right? So I wasn't shocked. When I got my first check, let me tell you, I was looking like side-eye, cross-eyed, and everything else because I was like, whoo, okay, Lord, I know this job, I'm here for this job for a reason. I know it. I know it's going to get better. Just get me through this hump. Just get me through it. I wanted to cry. I was like, what am I going to pay? How am I going to pay it? People think, oh, okay, you got a job, you got money. I have a job, but I'm not making any money. So I can't go to dinner with you all. I can't go on these vacations with you all. I have to pay these bills, and then I have to wait to get paid again. I can't do jack. Broke. Okay? It was hard being my age with kids and living check to check and penny pinching and having to see how I'm going to do stuff. You have to know what you're getting into. Now, if you don't have now bill, you live at home with your mama and daddy, they pay all your bills for you. Hey, this the life, okay? You get to travel, go hang out with your friends. Some of my younger classmates with no kids and no responsibilities, they always gone. They in the Dominican, they in Mexico. Somebody just came back from Brazil. They in Amsterdam. They living their life. They find cheap Airbnbs. They, team up together and pay the cost and stuff. I can't do that. I don't have a husband. I don't have anybody to help me out with my kids. Their fathers are in their lives, of course, but I am the main source. They're my responsibility. So, but I knew what I was getting into. I read the fine print. I asked the questions. When you go into the interview session after you get through the height thing and they give you the spiel on the company, they don't leave nothing out. They give it to you raw and uncut. They tell you everything you need to know about the company. They give you the training date, and no, the training dates can't be changed. So if they give you a training day on May 15th and you graduate on May 20th, no, they're not going to change the date for you. If you have a vacation plan June the 1st, no, they're not going to change the training date for you so you can carry on your vacation. The training date is the training date. So if you're sitting there in that interview session and they're telling you what the date is, but you just want the job so bad that you just gonna stay there and think, well, maybe I can get them to change the date. And this is common. So don't think that I'm bashing or I am picking on anyone in particular. This is a question that people ask all the time, not just to me, but in Facebook groups. Someone else wanted them to change it and was upset that her friend got the job, but they wouldn't change give him a later date or change the date for him because he had paid for some weekly family reunion vacation thing somewhere far they were gone. And she was like, how could they not be sensitive to his needs and know that you didn't have to take that job offer. You could have left as soon as they said the date and just applied later. There are thousands of people that want to be in this industry, that want that job, that could have had that job. It's not going anywhere. You will have time. You could apply again. It's gonna be there. So don't be worried about, if I don't do this now, I'm never gonna do it. No, it's not the case, because what's for you is for you. When they go over the policies, it's for a reason. The training dates, when they tell you about the tattoo policies, it's for a reason. If you are in any Facebook groups and you're talking about tattoos and anyone is telling you, and I'm speaking from my particular airline, if anyone who does not work for our airline tells you to go to the interview, to accept the CJO, and you have a visible tattoo, and they tell you, oh, just cover it with makeup or a watch or a scarf, don't listen to them. They setting you up for failure. And you're going to go all the way to training to be sent home, and you done left a job, you done left family, you done told all your friends where you're going, and you're getting sent home the same day. You cannot cover it up with nothing but your uniform. Point blank, period. There is no, but it's this small, but it's in my finger, but it's behind my ear, but it's behind my neck. But it's no but. The but is you cannot have a visible tattoo. Point blank. I know I've said this 100 times before. And prime example, I gave someone a referral, for this job. She have tattoos. I just didn't know where she had them at. I told her, you cannot have visible tattoos, and you need to reveal it to them when they ask you, because they're going to come into the training, they're going to give a spiel about the company, they're going to talk about the tattoo policy. You're going to go out, you can come back in if you want to. You come back in, if you get a face-to-face, they're going to ask you again, point blank to your face, do you have any visible tattoos? You sit up there and say no if you want to, and then you get sent, then you go home, you get a CJO, and now you worry for the rest of the time that it's time for you to go to training, what's going to happen because you have a tattoo. And I told her, did you tell them that you had a tattoo? And she said she did. She said, but mine is not visible. I said, where is it? What do you mean it's not visible? She said she had a butterfly on her wrist. Where on your wrist? And then she said, well, I did show the lady that I had the tattoo, and she told me that she thinks it'll be, okay, because it was kind of far up from her watch. So if it was not right here, but I think it was maybe up here. So if she has on a long sleeve shirt, the long sleeve shirts come about right here. So when she raises her arm, it's still going to be here and not right here. And she said the lady did tell her, though, thanks for sharing them, because they write it down on your paperwork. They write it down that you said you have no visible tattoos. So then you get to training, they're going to ask you again, And it'll give you one last chance to come reveal any tattoos. If you don't reveal it, and when they start doing the tattoo check, you go home. There's no explaining, but I'm getting it taken off. But I was told this, but no, because you lied. And you had 4 or 5 different opportunities to tell the truth, and you chose not to, trying to be sneaky. There is 1,000 other airlines that can hire you with the tattoo. So it's not your last opportunity. And I'm not saying this to hurt anybody's feeling. I'm telling you what I know. And I can't be no other way but blunt about it, because some people just don't understand. You had 5 opportunities before you even went to the face-to-face. Then you had another opportunity at the face-to-face, and then you lied about it. Now you worried up until you get to your training. Now it's day 1 in training, and now you're stressing out about it. You don't want that stress. Say it right then and there, so a trainer will tell you it's okay, and you can have that worry off of your mind, and you can just focus on everything else. If I don't know how long it takes to get a tattoo removed or not, but I do know that in my training class there was a young lady. I think it's a process, maybe 2 or 3, 4 sessions or whatever. I guess depending on how big the tattoo is, I'm assuming. But evidently she had 1 more session left. And so when they saw her scar, and it wasn't bright like it was, but you can tell that she had been going through the process or whatever, they still told her no. It had to be completely gone. And she had paid thousands of dollars, I guess, to have that removed. But they told her she was rehireable, and that she can come back once it was completely done. Blessings to her that after that, she applied with Mainline American, and she now works for them. And I ran into her. We were both commuting home, and she's working Mainline. So, and she has a scar right here from her tattoo being removed. And she said she doesn't regret it. Now it looks like maybe she has surgery or something like that. But that's her reminder, what wasn't for you, something bigger came. Another door opened. And she making double what I'm making. You know what I'm saying? So that was a blessing. She didn't give up. It is what it is. It's not your last hope. There is plenty of opportunities. So I just don't get it how someone can go apply for a job, get the job, and don't know jack about the job and what it entails. It is a lifestyle change. Money, being away from home, being away from your kids, being away from your husband, being away from your boyfriend or your girlfriend. It takes a toll. I had to sit down with my mom before and like, hey mom, this airline is hiring. I want to apply. But if I do get the job, it's a possibility I'm going to have to not be here. I'm going to have to relocate. I don't know how long. I'm not going to be making a lot of money. This is how much I'm going to be able to give you eventually. But when I first start, I won't be able to give you anything because I have to pay, for a place to stay. I had to talk to my kids. I had to let them know. And this is before I even filled out the application. So when we talked about everything, then I applied and went to a recruitment and was blessed that I got the job. But I did all this prior to. It wasn't like I just see flight attendants walking around and go, oh, I love their uniforms. Oh, they look so cute. Oh, I want to be a flight attendant, without even knowing what they do. People want to call us glorified waitresses and be all rude, peanut pushers and stuff like that. Let me tell you, I have like 10 or 12 friends that have been flying Mainline since we were in our early 20s. And I had no idea what they went through to get that job. And when I went through training, I called every single last one of them and said, I respect what you do. I have a newfound respect for what you do. Because I had no clue. I had no idea. Okay? We don't get trained to pour Coke and give you some pretzels and smile and say good morning, good evening, good night. It is a lot more to it, than just asking you to turn off your cell phone or put it in airplane mode. No. You put up with a lot of crap. You put up a lot of attitudes. You put from different walks of life, different ethnicities. It's a lot. I got my March schedule. So, normally I go home on my days off. I don't have a crash pad in Dallas, so I try to go home to take care of business, to see my daughter and to do anything I need to do with her before I leave again. So, my March schedule came out. I'm currently on a trip right now, right? It ends on the 27th, which is tomorrow. I get in about 3:15. I'll try to catch a flight home. After that, I'm off on the 28th. I'm off on the 1st. And they put my bidding for March is jacked up. And they gave me a local trip on the 2nd. A local trip, which just means I'm just going from Dallas to Aspen, Aspen to Dallas, and I'm done. I don't like locals because I don't live in Dallas. I live in Houston. And if I had to drive to Houston just to go to Aspen and back, it's not worth it for me. That means I'm only going to basically have whatever time I'm able to get home on the 27th. If I'm able to catch a flight, I'm only going to have the 28th off to be able to take care of business at home with my family and my kids. Because I'm going to have to turn right back around on the 1st to come back to Dallas for work on the 2nd. That means I'm going to have to get a room for the 1st. I'm going to have to pay for a room for the 2nd. That's 2 nights. Then I go to work on the 3rd. Come back on the 4th. I'm going to have to get a room I get back in late on the 4th. So I probably won't be able to get a trip home. So then I'm going to have to get a room on the 4th. I'm going to have to get a room on the 5th. Because they gave me another local or stand-up on the 6th. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days of hotel stay. Now I have friends and family that live. I have a sister that lives in Dallas, but she works like 12 jobs. So even if I stayed at her house, I'm going to have to spend $25, $35 each way on a Lyft to get back and forth to the airport because she's going to be at work. All my other friends live in the suburbs, like 25, 35, 40 minutes out. And they work too. So I'll have to still have my own transportation. So it's just easier for me to get a room because at least they have a shuttle. Because even if I rented a car and stayed at one of their homes, I still got to pay for the rental car and pay for parking because I don't have a parking pass at the airport. So my first 2 weeks in March, I'm going to be gone. Mind you, I haven't been home in 10 days. So it's hard. Now, someone just picked up my trip on the 9th. I had a trip on the 9th that would have went through the 9th and the 10th. Someone just picked it up. So now I'm off the 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. But that's my thing when I say you have to be flexible, understanding that you might be gone for a long period of time. I need my nails done. I broke this nail. This nail just came completely off. I was opening the thing. That's ugly. But I have to work like this because I can't go home. Where am I at? I'm in Indiana. It's 19 freaking degrees outside. I ain't about to go nowhere to get my nails done. So when I go home, hopefully I get home and I can get to the nail salon before they close. So it's very frustrating and very hard at times. And if you don't have the support system, it's going to be really hard. You really need to think about that. There's plenty of times when I'm like, man, Lord, did I make the right decision? Because I do miss my kids, but they get it, they understand, and I love them for that. But if I didn't have their support, I wouldn't be able to do it. I just wouldn't. What else? The money, it is what it is. In April, it'll be my annual. I'll get a little $4 raise. Hopefully, it'll make a little difference. I try to pick up trips to add a little extra income, because on reserves, you're going to get paid 76 hours regardless if you work or not. But when you're a line holder, you basically make what you work. So if I don't go to work, I don't get a check. So whatever I get, whatever I work. And also, that's how you accumulate your points for your vacation time. And I want to take a vacation, so I'm going to work as much as I can. So I can take my vacation in July. I'm taking a week off, and I need to accumulate those points. So, please do not take my video personal. It's not a personal attack on anyone. Anyone who's asked me a question or who's inboxed me, these are something that, people ask all the time, that you read all the time, and you are not the only one. I just need to educate you all before you jump into this world of what it's actually going to be like, and trying to get you prepared to what to expect. I hate for someone to quit their job and uproot and leave their family to get all the way to training and to come back home. The job is not going anywhere. It's always going to be there. And I need to go take some medicine, because I think I done picked up something on this trip. I just started sneezing and coughing and stuff last night. And I'm going to be working for 2 weeks straight now, so I can't afford to get sick. But it is what it is. I wish you all the best. I hope everything works out in your favor. And if you have any questions regarding your tattoo and you're just not unsure, email the recruiter who hired you. Email the person who sent you the CJO offer. Take a picture of it. Send it to them. If something, serious happened or something major happened in your life and you can't make the training day, email them. See what they can do. Do not just not ask. But don't assume, I'm going to get the job, but I ain't going to be able to start on this day, and I'm just going to ask them to give me a later day. Because they have these training sessions they have these recruitment sessions for a reason. They know how many people they're going to hire for this class date specifically. So, it's that way for a reason. So, but it doesn't hurt to ask. It's not going to kill you to ask. What they going to tell you? Either they're going to tell you, no, we can't change it. Either you come now, or you're going to apply again. Or they're going to say, well, okay, this time. You just never know. So don't be afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to show them your tattoo. So the recruiters and the trainers, because I don't work for them. I'm not a recruiter. I'm not a trainer. This is just my personal experience and opinion. Ask them. Ask the persons in charge. The persons who can tell you yes and no. Don't be afraid. You have to speak up, okay? Don't be all on, asking other people. I'm telling you, ask the people who know. Let them tell you. Anyway, 30 minutes. So, good luck, guys, and congratulations.